Hi, it's Constitutional Rights PAC's The Carter Man, and I want to share some thoughts with you about a trip I took yesterday. I'll make this quick. It's not a, personal, geographic spree that I want to tell you about. Good times and a great day, because it wasn't. All right, it wasn't. My wife and I and a dear friend of ours went up to look at a home that I was thinking of buying in Kaiser, West Virginia. Kaiser, West Virginia. I love West Virginia. As some of you know, I already own a home there. I'm looking to buy another one. They have lower taxes, and the government is not quite as oppressive, despite the fact that their fat, disgusting governor held a press conference where he looked totally inebriated during the disease that cannot be mentioned, and yelled at the people of West Virginia, "You will wear your effing mask." Only he didn't say effing. I'm not going to use the language he used. Disgusting. But despite the fact that governor, a Vichy Republican governor, Democrat Republican clothing, is there, it's still a great state. But the town of Kaiser, it should be the career politician's model city, okay? Because over the past 20 years or so, it's lost a third of its population. It's lost its stores. It's like, it was one of the most depressing experiences I've ever had. Went up to look at a home, and I said, I want to see the downtown, the main street, okay? Because I like to go a little shopping on the main street, grab a cup of coffee at the local coffee shop. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no main street. There's plywood on the stores. Well, that's because of politicians. That's because of the politicians. When they saw the town was in trouble, instead of going business to business, and I'm talking politicians at the federal, state, and local level, and saying to the business owners, whatever it takes, we want you to stay. We're going to pull this beautiful, lovely city out of this. It only has about 4,000 people, about 6 plus before. We're going to pull this city out of this, okay? Don't get discouraged. Don't move out. To the business owners, what'll it take? Tax incentives? Federal government could have said, we're going to cut your taxes to the bone. State government could have said the same thing. Local government could have said, no property taxes for you. Because, as they said during the disease that cannot mention its name, we're all in this together. Only in this case, they should have been. They should have been. They should have been. There in the heart of the town is a gorgeous Gothic building, beautiful. It says on the front, Kaiser High School. It's closed. It's closed. It's closed. Now, that is in the middle of the town. So it was the heart of the town. I can assure you, because I grew up in the 50s and the 60s, that the local high school was the heart and soul of a small town. Before we moved to the big city, my dad was a minister in Hancock and in Williamsport, and Friday night everybody went to the basketball game during that season. Everybody, not just the people who had kids playing, everybody. If it was a football team, everybody turned out to the games, okay? The meetings, the parents were involved, and then big government said, well, we don't like that. And they moved, think about it, think about where you live. They moved the high schools out of the towns. Out of the towns, miles away. Miles away. I lived in Westminster, Maryland. They had a wonderful high school. Westminster High School, heart of the town. Heart of the town. I knew the hometown heroes who had played on the teams during the 50s, into the 60s. They moved it 5 miles outside the town to get away from the parents. I called the new high school the disaster and the pastor. If I'd been the mayor, I would have said, you can build a high school anywhere you want, to the state government. But this is Westminster High School. You can call yours Rumpelstiltskin High School for all I care. But this is our town. This is our school. Kaiser had its school. It had its town. It had everything. And I'm telling you, had you been with me, you would have felt like weeping. Because it was destroyed by the politicians. All they cared about was tax money and, frankly, padding their own pockets, because that's what politicians do. Remember what I always tell you, the average net worth of a member of the U.S. Senate is $7 million. How does that compare with your bank account? Folks, it's at every level, federal, state, and local. The only way we're going to stop it is term limits. Tell politicians, you're not here forever. You're here for a short stay. You do what you want, and if you start doing what we don't want, you're going to be out the door, because we're going to have recall too. And recall should be active. It should be something they're scared of every day. Okay? That's the America we are going to bring back. Okay? We're going to take back America at the federal level. For guys like me, it's putting Trump back in. At the state level, tell the Democrat and Vichy Republican governments, hit the road, Jack. And local level, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to give you 2 years. See what you can do. If you do wrong, get out the door. Out the door. Bring in somebody to do right. Folks, it's time. It's time to take back America. Let's do this thing.